warm welcome to this special interview. My name is Anoop Verma. I'm the editor of ETGovernment, a vertical of the Economic Times. Our guest today is Mr. Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha. He is the Secretary in Ministry of Ayush. The topic of today's conversation is of the initiatives that the ministry is taking for promoting Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, and Siddha systems of medicine in the country. So, with this, I now come to Mr. Kotecha. So, what kind of digital technologies are you using to promote these traditional systems of healing in the country?
Actually, I would like to add what you have mentioned, that you have mentioned about Ayush sciences, and then there are two important Ayush specialties was not mentioned. So I would like to add homeopathy and Sovarikpa. So we are having Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, and Sovarikpa. Sovarikpa is a Himalayan system of healthcare. So it is also under the Ayush. So the domain of Ayush Ministry is to propagate and to develop the scientific rationale, education, regulation, development, public health delivery system about all these Ayush systems. And your specific question was about the digital technologies. Actually, since last few years we have visualized, our a very important initiatives where we have called it as an Ayush grid. So Ayush grid is a an imagination of having digital solution of everything related to Ayush. So be it a research, documentation, education regulation, education monitoring, transparency in education, or regulatory activities like our drug licensing, or or working with the states, or public health delivery system like National Ayush Mission, or health management information system, or yoga. So there are so many such initiatives we have taken in last few years. I would like to mention that as long as we were able to bring out as long as 22 plus solutions, in different categories of what I have mentioned, and we are participating with a lot of different intergovernmental initiatives. For example, National Digital Health Mission. So we are aligning with this Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, ABDM, which is governed by National Health Authority. So whatever solutions we are creating, we are aligning with the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission also.
So one of the issues that we see is that it's India's traditional system of medicine, but most Indians, especially the middle class, are unaware of Ayush, the benefits of Ayush treatment. So, should the digital technologies be used to propagate this system of medicine in the country?
Anoopji, first of all, I would like to mention that this is a kind of a miscommunication probably, that people are not unaware, and they are not aware about the services. They are not aware about that. Actually, these Ayush sciences have very big penetration among the population of India. There is a very strong undercurrent. I would like to cite couple of studies, that is the third party study, not done by Ministry of Ayush. The one study is from CII in 2014, which was about the manufacturing sector of Ayush, and at that time it was only $3 billion. As per the conversion rate at that time, it was 21,000 crore rupee. In 2020, we have requested RIS to conduct a study about the manufacturing sector, and then to our surprise, we had a goal in 2017. We have fixed up a goal that since it is a 3 billion, so we will reach by 2022 in 5 years 10 billion. But we came to know that it was already 18 billion in 2020, and as per the projection, now it is 24 billion. So from 3 billion to 24 billion. So it's like 8 times in 9 years. So this showcases that there is a huge undercurrent. And during COVID time, we did a very authentic study which was published in one of the best journal, Journal of Internet Research, which is a high impact journal. So this study was based on digital capturing of the responses of the people, how they are using Ayush during COVID times. And we were able to capture more than 1.47 crore people's response through this application. We have developed an application, Ayush Sanjeevani. So through that application, we got this response, and this response was scientifically analyzed And then we found that almost 89.9% of Indian population have used Ayush during COVID. So this narrative that they don't know is not right. But what we want to do is that we want to even scale up. There is a huge demand, which is um, available through these studies that 8 times growth in 9 years means huge demand. And we are also doing a service sector study where this is a manufacturing and service sector study also. In the initial results is they are saying that the size is about $26 billion. So together is a $50 billion industry, or sector. So it's not a small sector. So what we want to do is that we want to generate large scale evidences, as mentioned by our Honorable Prime Minister several times. Our Honorable Minister Sri Sarvanand ji also in his several speeches, he and our Honorable Prime Minister primarily, he has mentioned several times that Ayush science is our own dharohar, is our own speciality, which is nowhere available across the globe. And there is a global demand of these sciences. Thousands of people are coming to India to avail services under medical value travel, or we call it heal in India. So we need to have solutions which is scientifically validated, scalable and standardized. So for that we are working or bringing in digital technology into Ayush sciences. So for example, I would like to cite a very interesting example, that there is also a narrative that wherever we discuss about Ayush, it is said that you people are good, your sciences are good, but you need to generate evidences. That's a question I usually face, or I am asked, or in public platforms, the speakers mention. But I would like to happily inform your good self that we have created under the digital initiatives, we have created an index known as Ayush Research Portal, which is when you type on Google, you find this portal, and it is an index service where we have posted 43,000 publications. It's all searchable. So if you are interested into Ayurveda and diabetes, so you can find kitna diabetes mein study hua, or you are curious about yoga and mental health, so you can find number of publications of yoga and mental health. So it is searchable. You can download full text, or you can download abstract, or you can generate lot of reports. So that is what we did. So this is one of the example, how we are working to scale up and to standardize the things. That is what we are doing.
Traditional system of this medicine that India has, the knowledge of this medicine has evolved over a period of thousands of years. We don't know how much time it has taken. Probably it's pre-Vedic Vedic also. But now we are in the age of emerging technologies. So the traditional systems are now merging with the emerging technologies to expand in more in scope. So, how is your experience of using emerging technologies to promote Ayush, not just in India but also globally?
Actually, I would like to cite an example. It's a very interesting example. There is a narrative that you are a traditional science, so you are not supposed to use technologies. That was the narrative. So if a person goes to an Ayurvedic physician, the patient would expect that the physician will take only the pulse, and that's it. They are not supposed to use blood pressure monitor, or they are not supposed to use technologies. So these technologies are coming from the basic sciences. It's not allopathic science, it's not the medicine. It is more of the science of coming from physics, chemistry, or biology. Like I am using this high-end computer, so it is not mentioned in Ayurveda, but I am using it. So technology is the science evolution of science, and it can be used anywhere, including traditional medicine. And the traditional medicine perspective, there are a lot of uses. Like I would like to cite an example. I was just mentioning about the pulse. So there are more than 7 solutions where the pulse can be taken by some apparatus, and it is interpreted into the computer, and a detailed report about pulse analysis can be generated. So it is already in market. So that type of solutions. So your question was very apt, that can we use digital technologies to promote these systems? And my reply is yes. And then there are some examples, like we have developed AIM Yoga application for WHO. So we have an MOU, an understanding with WHO. WHO has requested us to create some digital solutions for preventing health from yoga perspective. So we have developed this M Yoga application. This M Yoga application was for the WHO. WHO is using it for member states. It is available on WHO platform. That is done by our Morarji Desai National Institute. This is an example that people can use this specific application to prevent or to help in their diabetes. So this is an example. Another example is Break application, Yoga Break application. So Yoga Break application is very innovative in the sense that we all are nowadays very busy sitting on our desk and doing so many things in a day, but physical perspective we are missing with physical exercises and we don't have time. Largely we have this excuse that we don't have time. So we have developed this application which is wonderful. Lot of corporates and government is using. Government of India, our DOPT has actually instructed all government offices to use this Yoga Break application. Actually, it is also one of the Yoga Break application is also one of the module in our portal for the training of the government employees. What we do is we are offering 5 minutes of capsule of Yoga Break. While sitting on the chair, I can do this with some simple stretching, some meditation, some pranayam. Is a 5 minute. And 5 minutes of standing or 5 minutes of sitting, or so we call it very innovative, like very catchy name, Vibrate. So it's appealing to the next generation, the millennials, and this is very highly successful. So this is an example that how we can intervene, how we can use digital technologies for scaling up of the services, service deliveries, and science and documentation. Another example is health management information system. Our Ayush based HMIS is compatible to ABDM, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. So entire country, if anybody has this ABHA card, our solution is compatible. So ABHA card, if somebody comes with ABHA card, they don't have to have registration details. It is just scan and then their registration is done. And then this interface is there. So we have put this solution in sandbox. So private providers, new startups can use this API and integrate with their solutions. So it's scalable. So there is an example how we are visualizing to bring in digital solutions to scale up Ayush services and Ayush solutions.
In the recent G20 summit, there were several sessions on Ayush, and a lot of effort were made to take this traditional system of medicine outside the country also. So, what kind of success did you achieve in that?
Actually, we are very highly successful because line ministry was health ministry, but we were working with them, and I must compliment this whole of the government approach. So both the ministries work together to push and to propagate traditional medicine and to bring in G20. So, for example, there was a separate 3 days session on digital technology and health. So Secretary Ayush was invited to have a presentation and keynote about the Ayush grid during this G20 summit. There is another example that we have also arranged a co-branded event of WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine, which is in India, established by WHO, supported by Government of India. So this event was like a global traditional medicine summit, and more than 70 countries participated. And the outcome is that all these 70 countries, including G20, they came together and then discussed, and then there is an outcome is in the form of Gujarat Declaration for next 10 years what WHO will do in traditional medicine. So our active participation, our influence was there, and we are clearly leading the traditional medicine sector across the globe. So there is an example how we did it. Last thing is that we were successfully able to have a specific paragraph into G20 declaration about the traditional medicine, India's interest, India's leadership, and how traditional medicine can be used in the mainstreaming or public health delivery system across the globe and regulating the traditional medicine. So it's very important to have this interaction and participation. There was a common meeting of G20 ministers and global traditional medicine leaders at Gandhinagar, and it was addressed by our Honorable Prime Minister also as well.
A lot of treatment in traditional medicine or other medicines also, it happens through the private sector. So are there any specific policies to promote private sector, to bring in more investments in this sector?
Actually, we have a strategic partnership with Invest India. We have also a scheme of champions in services. So the champions in services scheme is enables private sector players or startups or big players to invest into the infrastructure development, creating hospital or wellness center or yoga studio, whatever, from small to big. And Government of India supports, in the component of interest subsidy. So if they are taking a loan from the bank, we are supporting with interest subsidy. This is our scheme, Champions in Services. The other thing is that we also facilitate with them with the support of Invest India for the investment. If somebody has a project, we connect with the investors, angel investors or venture capitalists. That is also we are doing. We are also supporting startups. We have more than 1,000 startups in our sector. So these startups also we are supporting with our incubation center at All India Institute of Ayurveda. A lot of such things are happening. Actually, industry facilitation is also being showcased by recent establishment of Ayush Export Promotion Council. Earlier it was with Pharmaceutical Export Promotion Council. There was a small vertical of Ayush. With the help of Commerce Ministry has declared a separate Export Promotion Council EPC from Ayush. So it is already operational. Ayush Export Promotion Council is already done. So lot of such things are happening. So industry facilitation is also one of the things. That is why our industry is thriving. I just mentioned that 8 times growth is like working together with the industry. Yes.
And are there some startups on way to becoming a unicorn or?
We have one unicorn already there in our sector. There is a company in Hyderabad doing business only in ashwagandha, only one plant ashwagandha, and they became unicorn in 7 years. So there are lot of other companies in pipeline. So this is an example.
You have this Ayush Grid initiative. So what are the advantages of this initiative?
Actually, I already discussed it, but I would like to mention in little detail that Ayush Grid is a visualization. Already we have got the approval of Department of Expenditure to go ahead with this scheme, and we are working with BISAG N. Is our institute at Gandhinagar. And this institute, if you remember, this institute is a core institute which has developed PM Gati Shakti platform, and this institute is helping us to create this Ayush Grid network. So we already have developed 22 solutions, but we are not satisfied. We want to create an entire Ayush sector having digital solutions, a digital grid, and there are different layers. One is public interface, one is in the interface of the regulation, interface of education, interface of the administration. So this entire sankalpana, entire ecosystem is already visualized, already in pipeline. BISAGN is helping us, and they committed to complete it in next 1 year. And 22 solutions is already there. So what we have discussed with them, that they are helping us to create a master application. Master application is like that from one application you enter there, and you can, any beneficiary or any stakeholder can go as per their wish. If industry is there, they can go to industry facilitation vertical. If an educationist is there, they can go to education regulation or facilitation vertical. If a researcher is there, they can go to research perspective vertical. So master application is being developed under Ayush Grid.
Recently, Union Minister of Ayush was in Assam. He inaugurated this Ayush Diksha Center.
Yes, he was in Odisha.
Yeah,
actually,
Bhubaneswar, yes.
Yes. So I would like to mention that he has visited 2 things. So I would like to mention both. One is he 10 days back only, he has inaugurated this Ayush Diksha.
We covered this news. Right?
Yes. So the Ayush Diksha is a very important initiative, because for any sector, a continuous training to the human resource is very important core matter which needs to be addressed, because we are expecting more and more from our human resource. We are developing so fast. Our ministry is very new, but in just 9 years we have got more than 5 times budget. So this ministry is growing at a very fast pace, and we have now cabinet minister. Earlier we used to have only state minister with independent charge. Now we have cabinet minister, we have state minister of state also. So expectations are so high. So our human resource should match with that. This expectation, they should be upgraded. So we are establishing this Ayush Diksha at Odisha and at Bhubaneswar, And this Ayush Diksha is a training institute which will cater training to all areas. It will cater administrative training for administrators, research training to researchers, education training to the educators, and continuous medical education or training to the practitioners, because practitioners also by the act they need to upgrade them, every 5 years when they go for registration again, renewal of their registration, they need to have some CME. So this CME also is we are already we are doing it, but a very small scale. Now we want to expand it and scale up. That is why Ayush Diksha. The another on 28th only, the 3 days back, our Honorable Minister went to Dibrugarh, Assam, and he and himself and Honorable Chief Minister of Assam and another Central Minister, Sri Rameshwar Teliji, which is the MP of that area, who is the MP of that area, and lot of other ministers of Assam. They all came together. More than 10,000 people came for the foundation stone of a 100-bed Yoga Naturopathy hospital. So this Yoga Naturopathy hospital is the first of its kind in entire Northeast. There is no Yoga Naturopathy hospital in Northeast anywhere. This is first time. It is being established by Ministry of Ayush. And we have plan of establishing some Yoga Naturopathy hospitals and research center in different so many states. We already got approval of 5 such hospitals. So 2 is already ready. So in Jajjar in Haryana and in Nagamangala in Karnataka is already Nagamangala is already inaugurated. Jajjar is ready, and we have another 5. So in next 2 years we will have 100-bed Yoga Naturopathy hospitals in 7 states of our country. This is how we are progressing.
That's nice, very nice to hear that so much progress is being made. In his Mann Ki Baat address, Prime Minister had talked about ICD 11 and Module 2. So, what is the advantage of?
Actually, this is also one of the digital, solutions. What we have, we did work with WHO. We have supported WHO to develop this. ICD is an international classification of diseases. I am happy to mention that Honorable Prime Minister in his Mann Ki Baat, for 3 minutes he was talking about this, and he was so happy. He complimented Ministry of Ayush, which is a great honor for us. This ICD is a solution provided by or created by WHO, in which all diseases have a specific diagnostic code or morbidity code. So if somebody has an anxiety state, so there is a specific code. If somebody has a malaria fever, so there is a specific code of that particular diagnosis. So it gives a standardized diagnostic codes across the globe. So if a doctor diagnoses something and put it in a digital record, so that digital record is, any doctor is able to understand what was the diagnosis, what was the treatment. This type of standard coding was missing in Ayush sector. It was there in Chinese medicine, but not in Ayush sector. So we worked with, in 2018 we signed an MOU with WHO and we provided financial support. WHO with the help of Ministry of Ayush have created this solution of morbidity codes of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. So if Ayurveda says Sandhivat, is in allopathy is osteoarthritis. There are different name in Tamil language for Siddha and for different name in Farsi language in Unani. So all of these codes, if somebody puts in Ayurveda code, then anybody can understand what was the diagnosis. So this brings in lot of opportunity of standardization, opportunity for documentation, research, insurance facilitation, standardization of insurance, and doctors are now empowered to actually talk to each other or put and generate digital health record for the patients in the area of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani. That's a big leap, and that creates that is providing an entire platform for the entire sector to have a frog leap. That is what I want to use this word, and Honorable Prime Minister has appreciated this in Mann Ki Baat.
You mentioned the insurance
Yes.
sector just now. So, are there any policies being initiated to let the insurance companies come and provide some kind of funding for treatment or advanced research?
Actually, this is also one of the missing thing that by communicating to you, I want to disseminate this information also, that there are more than 41 companies, insurance companies are providing more than 70 packages which incorporates Ayush. Ayush services are available in 70 such policies or packages. What we are doing now is to further enhancing it. We are working with IRDA and GIC, General Insurance Council. We are in active persuasion with them, active discussion with them, so that all of the insurance packages should have Ayush services included. That is what we are doing. And this ICD-11 coding is actually facilitating to standardize insurance packages, because if the coding is there, insurance standardization is very easy.
And one last question: what will be the ministry's vision in the next 5 years for Ayush treatments in the country?
Actually,
And abroad.
we already have this, visualized during this our the Vision 2047. So we have created midterm goal and goal until for 2047, which is already vetted by Union Council of Ministers, is being vetted. So what we are doing is we have committed in several areas, like in public health delivery system, what we will do, in new drug development, what we will do, in research, what we will do, in technology, what we will do. So just example that as of now we are having 12,500 health element center, and this health element center is catering almost more than 12 crore patients at entry level in a year. Last year we have catered 12 crore patients. So average footfall is 40 to 50 per center, which is catering only 3,000 to 500 population, which is very high. So what we want to do this through this digital solutions in next 5 years, we want to mainstream Ayush services and having a model of integrative healthcare, which we are working with Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Integrated healthcare means that whichever is best evidence based for the patient care, it should be available to the patient. So there is an example, we already brought in couple of such solutions in our National Ayush Mission. One solution is about morbidity management of filariasis. So in filariasis, we all know that हाथी पाँव, like lymphadenitis, पाँव बड़ा हो जाता है और फूल जाता है. So there is no solution. Once a person is having lymphadenitis, there is no solution. In filariasis control program, they give medicine so that filariasis do not happen. But once it happens, then there is no solution. So we have some good evidences about morbidity management of filariasis. So we are able to showcase with effective implementation of Ayurveda and yoga intervention, and reduces the inflammation, and it increases the quality of life of the patient, which is already implemented in our National Ayush Mission. Another is that we have lot of good solutions about arthritis, backache through yoga, Ayurveda and other Ayush sciences. We already have incorporated this into our National Ayush Mission. So such evidence-based integration is happening with the help of both the ministry, and we are very much thankful to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. This is a very good example of how whole of the government approach works. So we work together, and our National Health Mission and National Ayush Mission. National Health Mission is governed by Ministry of Health. National Ayush Mission is governed by Ministry of Ayush. But we both work together, and we have a lot of good interface, good implementation strategies across the country, and we want to strengthen it in a scale up in next 5 years.
I said that this will be the last question, but I just want to ask one more question. You said something about R&D. So R&D, how does it happen in the traditional system of medicine? Because these medicines would be known for hundreds of thousands of years. And what the new drugs that are being made, how do we ensure that there is quality control, or there is, all that is whatever we consider with the medicine?
We have a lot of ecosystem, like we have 5 research councils. Research council in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Yoga Naturopathy, and homeopathy. 5 research councils, and their mandate is to generate evidences and researches. So when we talk about research, we only think about drug development, which is not only the research, because in our sciences there are practices, experience-based practices of 5,000 plus years. So we are not supposed to reinvent everything, but whatever is there, we have to generate, evidences based on the present scientific tools.
Yes.
So what we do, we are having a good facilitation by the Act, Drug Act, etc., that we are not supposed to start from the scratch. If we want to do clinical studies, we are empowered to do clinical studies immediately. So what we do as a matter of strategy, that we start everything together. Preclinical studies, mechanistic studies, in vivo, in vitro studies, docking studies, we do together. At the same time, we initiate clinical studies. So evidences are generated in very short period of time. It do not take 10 years. it takes 2 to 3 years. So lot of such medicines we have developed. One such example is Ayush 64. Ayush 64 was in the 90s, it was 1890s, it was developed as a medicine from Ayurveda for malaria. But later we found that this is also working in the area of inflammatory lung diseases, ILD. So when COVID came, we already knew that this particular medicine works on ILD, and one of the complications of COVID-19 is ILD. So we started, visualizing that can this Ayush 64 be repurposed. You won't believe, in 6 months we did all these studies completed, docking, preclinical, in vivo, in vitro, clinical studies, large scale randomized trials and large scale observation studies, and all those things were completed in 6 months, and we were able to bring in Ayush 64 as a repurposed medicine, either as a add-on therapeutics to allopathic medicine or standalone, and we found very good results. We were able to save people's lives, and there is an example about that when Ayush 64 was launched as a repurposed medicine with the help of Seva Bharati, we gave this medicine to home isolated patients during second phase, more than 100,000 patients. We have delivered to their homes when we followed them with Google form and telephonic interviews. We were able to capture 3 weeks of follow-up of more than 65,000 patients, because some people they got improved and they did not give us follow-up, but 65,000 people gave us follow-up, and then we analyzed the data, and it was published in Frontiers in Public Health, which is a very high impact journal. What we found is very interesting, that only less than 300 people needed hospitalization, which is less than 0.5%. And during COVID time, the hospitalization rate was more than 6%. So 6% against less than 0.5%. And then during second phase, the mortality was more than 3% during second phase. It was too much. But in these 65,000 patients, nobody died. They all improved. Even if they went to hospital, they all improved. So that is captured into a thorough, proper protocol, proper format, and converted into a research publication. It was published also. So whatever I am telling is just not hypothetical. It's all proved. So yes, evidence based. So that kind of research. There is another area of research is working with basic sciences. So I mentioned about that basic sciences are either offshoots of chemistry, physics, or biology, and they are helping us a lot, because principles and practices of Ayush sciences, we need to understand the mechanistic studies, how it works. It works that everybody knows. Practitioners knows that if I do panchakarma, this will help and happen. But then how it works, what pathways it follows into the people's and individual's body, it is very interesting, and it need to be known. So we do a lot of mechanistic studies. We also do a lot of safety studies, because there is a safety concern. So we have to establish that yes, even if it's being practiced since few thousand years, we need to look at the safety aspect. So we do safety studies, we do standardized pharmacopoeial monographs. So if I am taking ashwagandha, people should get original ashwagandha with standardized kind of pharmacopoeial standards. So those pharmacopoeial standards we are developing. You also mentioned about how we create these standards. So we have the Standardized Pharmacopoeia Commission of Indian Medicine. Their work is to create pharmacopoeial monograph, and they did develop pharmacopoeial monograph of more than 3,000 products or single plants or formulations. And these monographs, all the pharmacies, we have 9,000 plus pharmaceutical industry, Ayush pharmacy. So they have to comply with these pharmacopoeial standards. We also have the pharmacovigilance program, which is very unique. It is said that in Ayush sciences, there is no side effect, but it's not true. In Ayush drugs also, if there are some people who react to Ayush drugs also, but what we found is very interesting. This pharmacovigilance program captures this adverse drug reaction and then follows up with that patient. And we found that in last 4 years, we found more than 5,000 such ADR, but nobody died. No adverse drug reaction went into the fatal condition. They all auto recovered. It means that they recovered by themselves without intervention. It means that largely these sciences are very safe. So we do all science, we all do all these practices, and there are very effective implementation across the country, and I am happy to say that.
Thank you, Mr. Kotecha, for very informative and convincing
Thank you.
description of Ayush.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.